we will continue listening to JoJo music. Though we have finished doing all of the openings, and I plan to do a video doing the endings at some point, I want to now go through JoJo's again with its music. But this time we will be doing the main character themes. I'm arguably more excited to do this than I was the openings. Just because when it comes down to JoJo's music, the main themes for the JoJo's ends up being some of my favorite stuff. So yeah, we are going in order, obviously, and today we're going to be doing Jonathan's theme, which this specific version of it that I have is a combination of two music themes from part one, but this is my favorite version to listen to because I think these two themes blend well into each other. But yeah, lots to talk about and listen to with this amazing theme, so let's get right into it. Oof. Already, it's just like, it's so like soft, and what we'll get into with this song, it very much feels like that balance between Jonathan and Dio. There's this like kind of soft, heroic feel to it, and sadness really, which again, you won't see it here, but this version of the theme is attached to an AMV, which I recommend you go and watch because it's really good because it's just the story of Jonathan and Dio, but just that beginning. Dog, this is the shit that gets me going. So part one of JoJo's is composed by Hayato Matsuo, because, you know, from parts 3 onward, it's by Yugo Kanno. And then part 2, there's a different composer, but obviously we'll talk more about that next time. But Hayato, he left his mark, because I really love part 1 soundtrack. I mean, it fits the vibe so well, because it's like this older feel, just these heroic, like, horns. It takes me a bit to kind of like Fate's soundtrack on some stuff. But again, it is like that balance of like good and evil in the track, which these dark horns, you could almost be fooled into thinking this is like a villain theme. But again, I feel like this theme more is for like Jonathan and Dio. Oh my god. The meter Celerando, just like every time I hear kind of an orchestral run like that, where it's just like, you know, no, nothing's moving. It's just that feeling of like going in like this endless circle. Oh my god, those horns are so strong. I would definitely say that's my favorite part of the track, is the horns. Wow. Even without me having the visuals here for this song, it's like it tells a whole story. That's what I love so much about this kind of music, dude. It's like you could play this for like a heroic moment and also a tragic moment, or just like a villainous moment, and you feel the emotions either way. I mean, depending on what part. It's a shame that Matsuo only really got to do this one part. I would have liked to have heard maybe his take on some of the later JoJo's themes. I mean, hell, I even would like to hear like Yugo Kanno. What kind of theme would Yugo Kanno give of Jonathan and Joseph if they had composed parts 1 and 2. It's just one though, like especially once we get into like, you know, parts 3, 4, 5, and 6, like their themes. Though you can listen to a lot of them and it's like Yugo Kanno has a distinct sound, kind of like that techno mixed with orchestral. This one very much is orchestral heavy. Like there's not any of like that kind of techno babble in it, which again I think fits perfect for the character of Jonathan because it's just like that heroic feel. And that, oof. I love that in the horn. Like that's the part, just like there's no heroism here, it's evil. I love that sound in orchestra as well, just like the, I can't remember what instrument it is, but just like that scraping like sound that again, I have like the images of like Jonathan fighting Dio like going across here, but it is that back and forth in the music. It's just this battle of just like the horns really signifying just like that heroic triumph, but then there's like the strings and a bit of like the other horns and the drums, just like this push and pull of the two, an endless conflict. We're building towards just, you know, when we eventually get to really Jonathan's theme. Again, that's why I like this version of it, but there's a lot of build up to it. Again, it is just this whole story that comes with it. I love this part because it's like this feeling of like approaching the demon's like palace and all that, which right here in the video it shows Jonathan confronting Dio in his palace. It's just that feeling of like right before the final battle, just the horns, like almost this like Count Dracula kind of feel of like. The strings building that tension the whole time, even as the horns resolve, just like dum bum. And then the harp that resolves that. Now, you know, before we get into my favorite part of this whole song, it's just like hope is restored, the hero is here type feel, just like that harp. Just, oh my god, that string, and just like it starts like flowing down the page, just like water over rock, and just it comes down. Like, I'll give it to Matsuo. This feels like a real orchestra is playing. Because, you know, a lot of times I don't really feel that for some of the later tracks. But, I mean, they're still good. But, like, obviously there's probably some studio stuff in here, too. It feels real. And here we go. I still don't know if it's like my favorite JoJo theme, just because obviously when we get into like Jotaro's and Giorno's, obviously those are so good, but this hits me on such an emotional chord though. Because I mean, there's times with like some of the other JoJo's themes where it's just like, yeah, I hear it and I think like of different moments and stuff throughout the part, but I hear this and it's like, this is Jonathan fucking Joestar. This is heroism in audio form. Like I still would say part 1 is my favorite part, just that feeling of just like hero's journey, and the collection of this theme just tells that story of just Jonathan, you know, being kind of like a rambunctious kid and then being humbled so much by Dio in his meeting, and then the constant back and forth of those two, but then going into the end here when he finally like becomes this hero, this warrior, and takes up the mantle to defeat Dio, and just the horns that blare and just oh, there's so much in that. There's so many layers. I think it's like a tuba, just like really low down in there. The bong, bong, bong. It's almost kind of like that God of War, like the bong, 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 but slower. You know, where it goes low, middle, high. Oh, that like faint piano down there. I was really trying to listen to, it sounds like there's a little bit of that piano in like the beginning here. Like there. At the very least, it's like in my top 3 of just overall like JoJo songs. You hear that and you can't help but like feel some level of inspiration. I still vividly remember just like anytime it would play it, just like that instant feeling of like relief. It's like, oh my god, Jonathan's here. It kind of has like that Superman feel as well. Like, you know, the hero has arrived. One more time all the way from the top. I can't help it. It's too good. Oh, I love that. Again, like on the video here, it shows Jonathan crying after he thinks he defeats Dio. And it is that, like, the battle is over, but it's that sinking feeling in the horns. And then, yeah, the ship explodes. Fuck me, dude. This is gonna be so fun going through all the themes, but that one specifically, it's just like going bit by bit through it, just because it means so much to me. Just like, I may not be able to fully justify or fully explain why part 1 is my favorite. A lot of times, just like, listen to Jonathan's theme. The whole story is there and the feeling of it. I definitely am due to rewatch part 1. I've read it in the manga, but just like seeing that in motion again and hearing that music. It's a simple story, but it still is unique enough, you know, with it being JoJo's. It is what I'm kind of missing going into a lot of the character themes going forward, because Joseph's, Jotaro, Josuke, Giorno, Jolene, it's like I love all of their themes in their own ways. A lot of it just has that level of more like kind of hype and just more of a feeling of just like the overall part that it's a part of, whereas Jonathan's just like absolute heroism. I could have gone with it playing even more than what I remember it playing, but yeah, let me know what you think about it down in the comments below, what you think about Jonathan's theme, and let me know as well, like over the course of this, what your favorite JoJo main theme is. Again, though I'll give my praise to obviously a lot of the openings and songs and whatnot over the course of this, at the end of the day, this is the kind of music that gets me up and going and what I love to listen to. But at the end of the day, JoJo's, I love listening to all of its music because it's so damn good. But this was my reaction to Jonathan's theme from part 1. Join me next time as we do Joseph's themes. Everything else will be coming out soon. Until next time, I'm Lancer. Thanks for watching.